Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel Spillfellingen Fellowship. My name is Andreas, Norwegian Viking, and this is my review of this fantastic book. So this is The Hobbit, There and Back Again campaign supplement, I guess. It is a book that has been long awaited in the entire community of Hobbit SPG. So this book basically comprises of scenarios and profiles from both Desolation of Smaug and Battle of the Five Armies, as well as new profiles and scenarios previously not ever seen. It also has an appendix with some profiles and scenarios not from the actual movies but from the generic story. So I'm thinking I will just go ahead and do it page by page, basically. So we start off with contents with loads of cool things. The entire thing is 150 pages. We have an introduction with how to play. You have the journey continues, so the story is explained. You have also the scenarios from the Desolation of Smaug is where we start. So I think I'm going to skip ahead from the scenarios and go ahead and just do the profiles first, and then skip around to the scenarios after I've done all the new profiles. So we skip ahead to page number, oh, there's loads of scenarios, so many scenarios. So we skip around to page number 78 for the good heroes. So some of these will have been changed, some of them will have been tweaked just a bit, and some of them will have been entirely new profiles as well. So firstly we have Thrain Oakenshield. Just a disclaimer, I will not do any points values, as you will need to buy the book to make an army, but I will do the special rules and my thoughts on the model if it has been changed. So Thrain Oakenshield, King Under the Mountain, is the hero profile. It is the one with heavy dwarf armor and sword. You can buy Orcrist, and you can buy a war goat. We all want the war goats. So he has several special rules. Firstly, you have Orcrist. Orcrist is, as you know him, a magical weapon. It causes D3 wounds on Orc, Goblin and Uruk-hais. And that's determined number of wounds before fate points are used. Additionally, he causes terror in Goblins, Orcs and Uruks. His own special rules are a score to settle. Thrain Oakenshield, King of the Mountain, rerolls all failed rolls to wound when making strikes against Azog. He also has Ancestral Fury, which means he may call heroic combat every fight phase without expending might. So wonderful profile. Don't think that has been changed that much, except his addition of a war goat. Next one, we have Kili the dwarf. He has heavy dwarf armor and sword, so also the hero profile. This is not the generic profile from the Unexpected Journey. He has the option to purchase a dwarf bow as well as a war goat. His special rules are bodyguard for Thorin. He also has combat synergy. Both Fili and Kili has this rule, which means if they are base contact, Fili and Kili may choose to swap places with one another at the start of any phase. This does not count as moving. You also have Du Bekar. A model with a special rule counts as being within range of a banner if it's within 6 inches of Thrain Oakenshield. Next up we have Fili the dwarf. Fili the dwarf, champion of Erebor. Also heavy dwarf armor and sword. He can be given a dwarf bow, and he can be given a war goat as well. As with his brother, he can be given, he has some combat synergy as well as bodyguard and Du Bekar, so they are very much the same profile, not much difference at all between these two. So next up we have Balin the dwarf. He has dwarf heavy armor and a two-handed mace. He has Thorn Protector, Thorin Oakenshield, as well as Longbed. So he has a special rule that grants him the ability in the priority phase to spend a will point to enable his side to reroll their d6 to priority roll. So his side, not both sides. Next up we have Dwalin, the dwarf champion of Erebor, heavy dwarf armor, two-handed axe and two axes. He can be given the war goat to become absolutely fearsome. He has burly, fearless, Thorn Protector. He's the king's axeman, so he can choose at the beginning of each fight. Dwalin, the dwarf champion of Erebor, can choose to use either an axe in each hand, in which case he fights with 4 attacks, or use two-handed axe. Note that this is not specified that he can only do this while on foot. So when charging on a war goat, you can get 10 attacks if you win the fight on the knockdown. That is fearsome. Oh man, that is good. Next up we have Weapon Master. Dwalin is a deadly warrior, so he's never considered unarmed and never suffers the -1 penalty to do roll for fighting with a two-handed weapon. Okay, so next up we have Biffa, the dwarf champion of Erebor. He has heavy dwarf armor and two-handed axe. He has Thorn Protector and throw stones. So he can throw stones. I think that's the only dwarf that can, basically. Yeah, seems like it. He also has the embedded axe blade. If Biffa the dwarf champion of Erebor wins a fight, he may choose to headbutt his enemy with the axe blade embedded in his skull instead of striking normally. If Biffa manages to successfully wound his opponent, then the axe is removed from his skull. Once the axe blade is removed, Biffa may call a heroic move each turn without reducing his own might store. So this one has been tweaked from previous rules. So he can do this without being on 1 wound and without sacrificing anything else, and without being in range of Bomber. So he can do this all on his own, and he can begin to speak in Dwarfish, not Dwarfish, English, when he does this. Next up we have Biffa. We already taken Bofa the dwarf. So also the champion of Erebor profile, heavy dwarf armor and two-handed hammer. He has Thorn Protector and King of Thorin Oakenshield, and he has Steadfast. Each time both of the dwarf champion of Erebor is targeted by magical power or special ability, he may try to ignore its effects. Roll a d6 on a score of 2+. All effects are ignored. This roll may be modified by might. If you wish to try to resist the magical power, you must do so before making both a steadfast roll. So in addition to having will, so he can resist magical powers for everything, he may be unaffected. Actually, it's very, very common that he's unaffected by magical powers. Alright, so Bomber. Bomber, champion of Erebor, has heavy dwarf armor and a flail. He is Thorn Protector, Thorin Oakenshield. He's beefy. When Bomber the dwarf champion of Erebor makes strike, he may choose to use the bash special rule just as if he was using a mace. He's also lumbering. When making jump or climb test, Bomber the dwarf champion of Erebor must reroll results of 6. Additionally, he may not call heroic moves or heroic marches. And lastly, he has Raising Spirits. Once each turn, at any points in Bomber's move phase, choose a friendly model in base contact with Bomber the dwarf champion of Erebor and roll a d6. On a 4+, the chosen model regains a point of will spent early in the battle or campaign. Alright, so we're coming to the last page of the dwarves, I think. No, we still have some more. Ori the dwarf, champion of Erebor, has a heavy dwarf armor and two-handed axe. He is Thorn Protector, Thorin Oakenshield, and he has the Chronicle special rule. Anytime Thorin Oakenshield, King under the mountain, or a champion of Erebor slays an enemy hero or monster within 3 inches of Ori the dwarf, That model immediately regains a point of might, will, or fate, your choice that has been previously spent during the game or campaign. So the special rules have been buffed a bit from some of the models, while others have not. Next up we have Nori the dwarf. He has dwarf heavy armor and shield and mace. He is Thorn Protector for Thorin Oakenshield, King of the Mountain, as well as he has weapon synergy. Nori is finally in possession of his preferred weapon, allowing him to fight even more deadly skill. Nori the Dwarf Champion of Erebor may reroll any dice to win the duel and may reroll one dice when making strikes. In addition, he has Weapon Master, so he never counts as being unarmed and does not suffer the -1 penalty the duel roll for fighting with a two-handed weapon. We have Nori the Dwarf, heavy dwarf armor and two-handed mace. He's Thorn Protector, and he also got the special rules a good sword, really. If Bilbo Baggins, Master Burglar, is within 3 inches of Nori the Dwarf, Champion Erebor, he may spend Nori's might, will and fate points as if they were his own. In addition, he is Weapon Master, so again, he never counts as unarmed or does not suffer the -1 penalty to the duel roll for fighting with a two-handed weapon. Okay, so Oin. Oin, Dwarf Champion of Erebor, is equipped with heavy dwarf armor, shield and a sword. He has Thorn Protector for Thorin Oakenshield. He also got Healing Herbs. In the move phase, instead of moving, Oin, the Dwarf Champion of Erebor, may attempt to heal a friendly model which he is in base contact with. Roll a d6, 1 to 3 there is no effect. On a 4, 5 the model regains a wound lost previously in the game or campaign, and on a 6 the model regains all its lost wounds. He also has Prognostication. Once per fight phase, Oin the Dwarf Champion of Erebor can expend a will point to enable a friendly model within 3 inches to reroll a single dice when making duel rolls. And the last of the 13 dwarfs, we have Gloin, son of Groin, the Dwarf Champion of Erebor. He has heavy dwarf armor and a two-handed axe. He has Thorn Protector for Thorin Oakenshield, King under the Mountain. He has the special rule, a Warrior Born. He must reroll scores of 1 to wound in combat. It says must, so he must do this. As well as Weapon Master as the previous ones, where he's not considered unarmed and never suffers the -1 penalty for fighting with a two-handed weapon. So that's all the dwarfs, the normal dwarfs at least. So we have Dane Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills. We have already seen this profile, and it isn't changed that much from what you saw on the Forge World site. He has heavy dwarf armor and two-handed hammer. He can be mounted on his rocket sausage, the warboar. He has burly and fearless. He also got Lord of the Iron Hills. All Iron Hill dwarves, Iron Hill captains, Iron Hill goat rides, and Iron Hill chariots within 12 inches of Dane automatically pass all courage tests they are required to make. He also has the Fiery Temper. As soon as Dane Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills, kills an enemy model for the rest of the game, if Dane is in range to charge, he must do so if he is able to. He also has the Fearsome Charge rule. In a turn that Dane Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills, charges into battle, he causes terror until the end of the turn. And lastly, he has Headbutt. If Dane Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills, wins a duel roll but fails to slay his opponent, select one man-sized or smaller model in the fight and roll a d6. On a 5+, Dane will headbutt that model and will be knocked to the ground. There is a note on man-sized models. Man-sized model is any model on foot that is roughly the same size as a man or smaller. This includes but not limited to men, elves, dwarves, hobbits, orcs, goblins and Uruk-hai. So most models is within this. And the final dwarf, I should say, maybe. Shouldn't there be one more in here somewhere? We'll see. It's the Iron Hill Captains. So this is a new profile as well. He has heavy armor, war spear, and shield. He may exchange a war spear and shield for a mattock. He also has the ability to buy himself a war goat. He has the shield wall special rule, which is the same as the Iron Hill dwarves. So if he's in base contact with 2 or more models with this special rule, they are also armed with a shield. The model gains a bonus of +1 to its defense value. The bonus is only available whilst the model is on foot. Tactical awareness. When an enemy model within 6 inches calls a heroic action, roll of d6 on 5+, the model may immediately call the same heroic action without expending might. So it has the Gothmog special, just a light version of it. Okay, so that's most of the dwarfs. So we go now to Thranduil, King of the Woodland Realm, and this is a combined profile now. So this is a profile for both the, well, all the versions that have been on Thranduil except the Lord of the Rings profile. So he has been armed with heavy armor, elven cloak, and 2 elven blades. He has the ability to buy himself an elf bow, a horse, or an elk. So he can now have the elk. And the important thing to note is that the elk is 2 wounds. Well, I should say also, as they might not have changed that much the profiles. So yeah, we'll just go back. Iron Hill Dwarf Captain are move 5, fight 5, 4+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 8, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and 5 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. While Thranduil is move 6, fight 7, 2+ shoot, 4 strength, 6 defense, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 6 courage, and 3's in right places for the heroic stats, so 3, 3, 3. While the elk is move 10, 4 fight, 5+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 5, 0 attacks, so it does run away if he's unhorsed or unelked. 2 wounds, so this is the notable thing, 2 wounds and 4 courage. And if Thranduil charges into combat whilst riding his elk, Thranduil's strikes are resolved at strength 5. He has the Expert Rider and Woodland Creature rule, as well as Blade Lord. The King of the Wood Elves is a swordsman of consummate skill. When fighting on foot, Thranduil, King of the Woodland Realms, receives a +1 attack. Furthermore, Thranduil, King of the Woodland Realm, receives an additional attack for each enemy model he's engaged with after the first. This bonus is determined at the start of each fight and lasts until all strikes from that fight have been resolved. And now for the interesting thing, we have Legolas Greenleaf, Prince of Mirkwood. He's ready for this. He's move 6, fight 6, so no fight 7. 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 6 courage, 3 might, 2 will, 3 fate. He's armed with an armor, elf bow, and a pair of daggers. He has the option to buy himself an elven cloak, a horse, and orcrist. So his points are higher than the normal Legolas, and that's because it comes with the armor. And orcrist may only be taken once per army, so no swapping between Legolas and Thorin. He has a woodland creature special rule, deadly shot, so you can shoot 3 times or fire once and hit automatically, so no changes to Legolas at all. Now we have Tauriel. Tauriel is move 6, fight 6, 3+ shoot, 4 strength, defense 5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, 6 courage, 3 might, 2 will, 3 fate. Armed with armor, elven cloak, and 2 daggers, and can be given an elven bow for an optional sum of points. She has the woodland creature special rule as well as blade mistress, so receives an additional attack for each enemy model she's engaged with after the first. As with Thranduil, this is resolved at the start of the fight and each fight, and lasts until all strikes from our fight has been resolved. She also has the Vengeful Fury special rule. If Kili the Dwarf, Champion of Erebor, is in your army and is killed, Tauriel's strength is immediately increased to 5 and the defense is reduced to 4 for the remainder of the battle. Okay, so now for the elves, the normal elves, the unnamed ones. So we have the Mirkwood elf captain. He has fight 6, 3+ shoot, 4 strength, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds and 6 courage. 2 1/1 in Might, Will and Fate, so normal captain stats. Has heavy armor, so heavy armor now, and Elven glaive. The Elven glaive is can be used either as a spear or Elven blade and gets the shielding special rule. Also has woodland creature. So this is a slightly buffed profile as he now has heavy armor. You also have Palace Guard captain. Same stat line as the Mirkwood captain. Has the option to buy himself a shield for some points. He has woodland creature and bodyguard, as well as Kingsguard. Whilst being within 3 inches of Thranduil, King of the Woodland Realm, he receives +1 to his fight value. And lastly, of the unnamed elf captains, he or she is a Mirkwood Ranger captain. Has fight 6, 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 6 courage, 2 1/1 in Might, Will and Fate, so normal captain stats there as well. Can be given, has an elven cloak, elf bow and 2 daggers. Has the woodland creature special rule, the knife fighter special rule, which is the normal one that you gain extra attacks for each enemy model up to maximum of 3 after the first. So caps at 4 models in base contact. Now we come to Bilbo Baggins, Master Burglar. Move 4, fight 3, 3+ shoot, strength 3, 6 defense, 1 attack, 2 wounds and 6 courage. 3's in right places for the hero stats, so Might, Will and Fate. Has the 1 ring, mithril coat and sting. Mithril coat is already included in the profile and gives him +3 defense. Sting is already included in the profile and gives him +1 strength. He has resistance to magic and throw stones, and the 1 ring is yet to awaken, so ignores the My Precious and Sauron's Will section of the 1 ring rules. Okay, so more interesting profiles. We have Bard the Bowman. So this is a massive stat line. It's an entire page by himself. So he has move 6, fight 5's 3+ to shoot, strength 4, defense 4, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 6 courage, might 3, will 3 and fate 3. He has a sword and great bow, can be given a horse, can be given armor, and can be given the wind lance. Wind lance is of course strength 10, defense 10 and 3 wounds. It is a siege weapon with the siege weapon special rules. Bard can use might to influence hit, to wound and scatter rolls. It is accurate, and it is of Dwarven make, so it only scatters 3 inches rather than 6. It has rapid fire, so if Bard the Bowman hits the target with his great bow, that's a great bow, not the wind lance. He may take another shot at the target within 3 inches of it. It may even be the same target. If the shot also hits, he may shoot again to maximum of 3 shots in total. He also has the black arrow. Once per game, Bard the Bowman can fire his black arrow instead of shooting the wind lance normally. If you choose to do so, declare that he is firing his black arrow before rolling to hit. When shooting the black arrow, Bard the Bowman rerolls a failed to hit roll and any failed in the way tests. Furthermore, do not roll for the scatter table when firing. The black arrow successful to hit roll against the battlefield target automatically counts as dead on result. So a bit of a buff there, I think. You also have the Savior of Lake-town. His stand-fast rule has a range of 12 inches. Furthermore, Bane, son of Bard, Percy, Hilda Bianca, Lake-town militia captains, and Lake-town militia within 12 inches of Bard the Bowman receives +1 to their fight value and counts as being in range of a banner. So it's a 12-inch banner, boys. New profile, Bane, son of Bard. Movement 6, fight 3, 4+ shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 1 might, 3 will, 2 fate. He has sword and armor, and he has the special rule family bond. While Bane, son of Bard, is within 6 inches of Bard the Bowman, he gains a bonus of +1 to his courage value. So he can be courage 5 and is excellent for a good standfast, as well as his 3 will. He's not likely to run away anytime soon. So now we come to the first profile that cannot lead troops. Interesting enough, independent heroes. So this is Sigrid and Tilda. 30 points for both of them. You have movement value of 6, fight 2, strength 4. This is for Sigrid, of course. 2 strength, 2 defense, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage, 0 might, 1 will, 2 fate. And then Tilda is the younger sister, so she's a bit worse. So she has movement 6, 1 in fight, 4+ shoot value, strength 2, defense 2, 1 attack, 1 wound, and 3 courage. And has same hero stat line, so 0 might, 1 will, and 2 fate. So only way to gain access to Sigrid and Tilda is to either have Bard or Bane in your army. They may not lead the warband, but may be included as part of either Bard the Bowman or Bane, son of Bard's warband. So can be taken inside there. They are considered to be unarmed and has 2 special rules. The first one is I can't pronounce this right. Down there. So that's of course Dad. Bard the Bowman and Bane, son of Bard, receives a +1 to the fight value if they are within 6 inches of either Sigrid or Tilda. If they are within range of both Sigrid and Tilda, they receive a +1 bonus to the fight value and may call a hero combat each turn without expending might. They also have something to fight for. If they are slain, if either of them are slain, Bard the Bowman will automatically pass all courage tests and must do everything he can do to charge the model that killed his daughters as quickly as possible. Once that model is killed, Bard the Bowman must move as fast as possible to the nearest visible enemy model for the rest of the game, charging if possible. It is possible for 2 models to be the target of Bard's rage if both Sigrid and Tilda has been slain. In this case, Bard will choose the target closest until that has been slain. Following, he will immediately target the second model. Once both models has been slain, Bard must continue to move as fast as possible to the nearest visible enemy model for the rest of the game, charging if possible. Okay, so that's Bard's family done. Next we have Master of Lake-town. Move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 2 might, 2 will, 2 fate. He's considered unarmed. He has the money bag special rule. Master of Lake-town can choose to expend a point of might at the start of each fight phase. If he does so, Braga, captain of the guard, and any Lake-town captain or Lake-town guard within 6 inches receive a +1 bonus to the fight value for the end of the phase, He also has the Dragon Sickness special rule. At the start of the game, your enemy may select one of their heroes to be the bearer of a large sum of gold. If the Master of Lake-town is ever in base contact with that with a bear at the end of a move phase, he must pass a courage test or be removed as he just lost his last wound. So he might be auto-killed at any point. And now we come to Alfred. Alfred is was one of the most undercosted models in the game prior to this. Now he has been nerfed. His new profile is move 6, fight 3, 3+ shoot, strength 3, defense 3, 1 attack, 1 wound, 3 courage, 0 might, 3 will, 1 fate. He is considered unarmed, and he has the dubious counsel special, and this is where he's changed. So Alfred can choose to spend any number of will points at the start of the priority phase before any dice are rolled. For each point of will he expends, nominate a single friendly hero from the Lake-town army or survivors of Lake-town army lists within 6 inches and roll a d6. On a roll of 2+, the nominated hero gains a point of might. On a roll of 1, the nominated hero instead loses a point of might and Alfred gains 1. Might gain in this way can take the chosen hero's store of might points beyond its initial limits. So no longer D3, no longer any hero, it is only heroes from Army of Lake-town or Survivors of Lake-town army lists. Okay, so another new profile, we have Braga, Captain of the Guard. He's a man, of course, with movement 6, 4, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 courage. He is armed with armor and sword. He's the Master's puppet, as long as the Master of Lake-town has will points remaining. If Braga calls a heroic action within 6 inches of the Master of Lake-town, roll a d6. On a 4+, the heroic action is free and no might point is spent. So he is considered to be in range of a Taskmaster if it's within range of Master of Lake-town. He also has the air of self-importance. Braga greatly dislikes Bard and all his family. Braga and any Lake-town guard within 3 inches of him may not take part in any heroic actions called by Bard the Bowman, Bane, Son of Bard, Sigrid or Tilda. Yeah, Sigrid and Tilda can gain might points from various points, so good to mention those two. Okay. We have the Lake-town Guard Captain. Not much to say about him. He's move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, 3 courage, 2/1/1 for his hero stats, arm and sword. Normal profile, no special rules at all. But he is buffed by Master of Lake-town as well as Master of Lake-town buffs him and can be buffed by Alfred as well. So we have Percy. He's move 6, fight 3, 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage. Has 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate. He has the special rule Archers this way. Percy leads the Archers of Lake-town to war against the Onslaught Walks. Percy and Lake-town militia within 6 inches of Percy may reroll once to hit when making shooting attacks with a bow. And lastly, of the named captains of Lake-town, we have Hilda Bianca. She has movement 6, fight 3, 4+ shoot value, strength 3, defense 3, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 5 courage. She is armed with a spear, has 1/1/1 for her might, will and fate points, and has the rules stand by our men. During the fight phase, Hilda Bianca and Lake-town militia within 3 inches of her gain +1 to wound if they are charged that turn. And lastly, for Lake-town, we have Lake-town militia captain, which is move 6, fight 3, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. He's armed with armor and spear, has the option to buy himself a shield for a number of points. We have Saruman the Wise. Not much to say about this profile, I think think that's the same profile as he was in the original Desolation of Smaug, not the Desolation of Smaug, the Battle of the Farm Armies sourcebook. But he has movement 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 1 attack, 3 wounds, courage 7, 3 might, 6 will, and 3 fate. He has the Staff of Power, so he gains free will every turn. He has Aura of Command on 2+, Command or 18 inches on 3+, Immobilize 18 inches on 2+, and Sorcerer's Blast 12 inches on 4+. So that might be changed there. He has the Voice of Kurnir, so he has a standfast range of 12 inches, and his standfast range can affect other heroes. But he also has Consuming Rivalry, so he will never move as part of a heroic action called by Gandalf the Grey, nor will accept Gandalf the Grey's aid in the form of Strength and Will spells. If Gandalf the Grey has this magical power on Saruman the Wise, it has no effect. He also has the Lord of Ishtari. Saruman the Wise can choose to reroll 1 dice when making casting or resist tests. So we have Galadriel, Lady of Light. So she seems to be a bit more expensive than she has been previously. She has 6 movements, fight 6, 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 3, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 7 courage, 3 might, 6 will, 3 fate. She has the Nenya ring, which allows her to reroll dice when using fate points. She has Banishment, 12 inches on casting on 3+. She has Fortify Spirit with range of 12 inches, casting on 2+. She has Terra, Woodland Creature, and Lady of Lothlorien, so she can expend a point of will each turn without depleting her own store. The Light of Erendil, shooting attacks directed at Galadriel or any model within 6 inches of her will only hit on the roll of 6. And War Aspect, all enemy models within 6 inches of Lady of Light suffers -1 penalty to their courage. Furthermore, Galadriel, Lady of Light, will never be counted as unarmed. So I think she's a bit more expensive now. Okay, so we have Radagast the Brown riding Great Eagle. So Radagast, don't think he has been changed all that much. Move 6, fight 5, strength 4, 4+ shoot, defense 5, 1 attack, 3 wounds, 7 courage, 363 for his hero stat Might, Will and Fate. He has a dagger and a Great Eagle for war gear. Master of Birds, his first special rule. He's always assumed to have line of sight to any point on the battlefield. Note that this is line of sight, not range. He has 1 with nature. Radagast has a strong connection with nature and so is able to blend in with his surroundings and is used to traveling through all manner of wilderness. Whilst on foot, Radagast the Brown may move through areas of difficult terrain without penalty and is always considered to be wearing an elven cloak. He has the Aura of Dismay, casting on a 5+, Immobilize, range 12, casting on 3+, Nature's Wrath, casting on a 4+, Panic Steed, range 12 on a 2+, Renew, range 12 on a 3+. And his Great Eagle is movement 12, fight 7, 4+ shoot, strength 6, defense 8, 2 attacks, 3 wounds, 5 courage. It has razor sharp beak and claws. And Radagast the Brown mounted on Great Eagle counts as a monstrous mount. It has Fly and Terror and is a noble beast. If Radagast the Brown dismounts, then the Great Eagle automatically passes its courage as to stay and fight. So next up we have Elrond, Lord of the West. Movement 6, fight 6, 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 7, at 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 7 courage, Might, Will and Fate, 3s in all. 3s in the right places there. He has heavy armor and elven blade. He has Vilya, so he has the elven ring, so he can reroll his dice when using fate points. He has Nature's Wrath, casting on a 4+, Renew 12 inches, casting on a 3+, terror, woodland creature, and champion of the free peoples. Elrond, Lord of the West, may call a heroic strike every fight phase without expending any might. This profile does not have access to any mount, that is. Next up we have an independent hero, and that is Thrain the Broken. Thrain is move 5, 4 plus shoot and 4 fight. Has strength of 2, defense of 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds and 3 courage. 0 in all heroic stats, and is armed with a dagger. He has the Shattered Spirit special rule. At the start of every priority phase before rolling for priority, Thrain must take an unmodified courage test. If the test is passed, he acts normally. If it's passed on a double, Thrain adds +2 to his fight, strength and attack, and courage to his end of the turn. If his courage test is failed, the evil player controls Thrain as if it was one of their own models. The only difference between Thrain and other evil models is that good models cannot target Thrain with missile, fire, or magical powers that cause damage, and cannot make strikes against him. Thrain must always take his courage test. He this courage test, he can never be forced to automatically pass it. And lastly, one of the models that has been given a buff is Beorn. Beorn has, in his man form, move 6, fight 6, 3 plus shoot, strength 5, defense 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 6 courage, and 3 for his hero stats. And he's armed with a 2-handed axe. He's burly, fearless, resistant to magic, and woodland creature. He has the Skin Changer special rule, so you can roll a d6 at the start of Beorn's move on a 4+. Might may be modified used to modify this special rule. Beorn changes shape from a man into a bear or vice versa. Replace the Beorn model with Beorn the bear model or vice versa. Beorn can then continue with his move as normal, including making charges. Beorn can change form if there's an enemy model in base contact with him. Now for the interesting bit. Beorn the bear. So the bear form, he has move 8, fight 8, 4 plus shoot. He has strength of 8, defense of 8, 3 attacks, 6 courage, and so he has the same amount of wounds as Beorn the man, so that doesn't change when he's in bear form, as well as Mighty Will and Fate, that doesn't change. Wargear is claws and teeth. He has burly, fearless, resistant to magic, terror, woodland creature. He has the crushing strength, brutal power attack. If Beorn wins the duel, instead of making strikes as normal, choose a losing model. That model immediately suffers a strength 10 hit as Beorn engulfs him in a deadly embrace. If the 2-wound roll is successful, the victim suffers another strength 10 hit, and so on until the victim is dead or Beorn fails to wound him. Now, this is the 2-wound roll, not the fate roll. As well as Berserk, Beorn the bear must always charge an enemy if he is able to. Additional Beorn may not use stand fast or heroic actions of other models, and other models may not use his whilst he's in bear form. So that might be it for the heroes, but there is one more hero actually, just to be funny. So we'll take the good heroes and then we'll take a break. We have the Urnhill's Dwarf. So you will have seen this profile on the Facebook, the Forge-Rolled website in the store. It is a move 5, fight 4, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage. It's armed with heavy armor, sword, and shield. It has the shield wall special rule, so same as the captain had. If it's within base contact with 2 models with the same special rules that also has shield, the model gains +1 bonus to his defense and is only applicable if the model is on foot. It may exchange a shield for a mattock. A mattock is a 2-handed weapon that can use both bash and piercing strike special rules. It can exchange a shield for a crossbow for a number of points. You can buy a spear, and it can buy a banner, so it has a banner option. You also have the goat riders, the Iron Hill goat riders. So they're move 5. They're basically the same profile as an Iron Hill dwarf without the defense upgrade. So fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 1 wound, 1 attack, 4 encourage. It has heavy armor, sword, war spear, and a war goat. Now the war goat is move 8, fight 2, 6+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 0 attacks, 1 wound, 3 courage. It may exchange war spears for mattocks, so they are able to gain 2-handed weapons. Can take banner, has the mountain dweller special rule, and devastating charge. When this model charges in combat against one or more man-sized or smaller models, roll a d6 for each. On a 5+, that model is immediately knocked to the ground. So these models have the ability to knock people down before combat starts, which is awesome. And they can charge several models and do it on all of them. They also have the war spear, follows the rules for lance while on mounted, and spear if it's on foot. And now for a big profile. This is the Iron Hill Chariot, which takes up 2 pages. 2 pages of rules. So let's just do this. The crew are move 5, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage. It has the chariot itself has move 8, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 8, 2 attacks, 5 wounds, and courage of 3. It has heavy armor and sword. It can be replaced, driver can be replaced by the Iron Hill's captain, or you can also replace the crew to the champions of Erebor. That makes it an army in itself. It has a dwarven crew of 4. As crew members are slain, other Iron Hill's dwarf move to take the place atop the chariot. Any Iron Hill dwarf warrior may replace a slain crew member by ending their move phase in base contact with the chariot. Any Iron Hill dwarf that joins the chariot immediately drop their spear, shield, mattock, or crossbow. Should the drive be killed, another Iron Hill's dwarf on the chariot immediately takes its place. Any chariot that has all its crew slain is removed as a casualty. It has a rapid fire bolt thrower. Any Iron Hill's dwarf that is not the driver may man the rapid fire bolt thrower. This is a crossbow that fires d6 shots per turn. The bolt thrower only has a limited field of fire, 45 inches to its left, 45 degrees to its left or right. The chariot may still fire even if it's moved the full distance that turn. Additionally, the chariot does not suffer -1 penalty for moving and shooting. The chariot may still shoot even if engaged in close combat and does not need an in-the-way test for models engaged with it. Each shot may target a different enemy. If it doesn't then the dwarf operating the rapid fire bolt thrower may not add its attacks or fight value to the duel roll and may not make strikes in the following combat phase. The chariot charge. The Iron Hill's chariot is an unusual model and moves in the following way. At the start of the move phase, the controlling player may pivot the chariot up to 45 degrees. When pivoting, the chariot may touch models or terrain. In the case of models, move them out of the way by the shortest route possible. In the case of terrain, move the chariot away just enough to complete its pivot. The chariot may then move up to 4 inches in a straight line. If it has moved a full 4 inches, it may pivot a further 45 degrees. The chariot may then move up a further 4 inches in a straight line. So you can move full 8 forwards, or you can move 4, you can pivot, move 4, and then pivot again. Any model that the chariot comes into base contact with when moving, not when pivoting, immediately suffers 3 strength 6 hits. If the model is slain, then the chariot may continue with its movement. Cavalry model suffers 3 hits on both the rider and the mount. If the rider survives upon the mount is slain, the rider is thrown, and after testing the thrown rider test is placed in base contact with the chariot, might not be used to affect this result of these hits. The chariot may instead choose to forego its movement in order to pivot to face in any direction. There is also on page 151, there's a template to do this. Shooting and moving template. Okay, so the chariot in combat. The chariot counts as one model in a fight. Any surviving crew member that is not driving the chariot adds their attack to the dual roll. So that means if you have a full chariot, you gain 5 attacks. Or if you have the champions variable, you gain a lot of attacks. Additionally, the chariot will also use the highest fight value of any dwarf that is on the chariot, including the driver. If beaten, any model wishing to strike the crew must roll to see if they hit the crew or the chariot. To do this, roll a d6 for each strike, and a 4 plus the strike hits the crew member of the attacker's choice. Anything else hits the chariot. If the chariot loses the fight, it does not back away. Also, it never counts as trapped. If the chariot is slain, then the crew inside are lost. Remove the model as a casualty. It is a large war machine. On a turn in which the Arnhill's chariot charges, it gains extra attack, knock to the ground bonuses as if it were cavalry. The Arnhill's chariot still gets these bonuses even if it charges a cavalry model. So it's a monstrous mount basically, without the monstrous special strikes. When the chariot is hit by a shooting attack, the shooter must take an in the way test to determine if the chariot or the crew are hit. On a 1 to 4, the chariot has been hit. On a 5 or 6, it hits the dwarf closest to the shooter. The chariot may not jump, climb, lie down, or defend barriers. It may not enter difficult terrain other than water features, including swamps, rivers, etc. The chariot cannot be barged, hurled, or knocked to the ground for any reason. Chariot magic. Arnhill's chariot is immune to magical powers that would prevent it from moving normally. These can instead be directed at the model driving the chariot, in which case the chariot will be affected instead. A sorcerer's blast can still inflict damage on the chariot or its crew, but cannot move them or knock them to the ground. And lastly, Arnhill's captain. If this upgrade is taken for the chariot, then an Arnhill dwarf captain will replace the driver. The Arnhill's captain has all usual war gear and special rules that an Arnhill's captain would normally possess whilst riding the chariot. The chariot counts as hero for the Arnhill's arm list and may be the army leader. And now you have the designer's note. And this is for the champions of Erebor. If this upgrade is taken for the chariot, then instead of being crewed by 4 Arnhill dwarfs, it's crewed by Balin, champion of Erebor, Dwalin, champion of Erebor, Kili, champion of Erebor, and Fili, champion of Erebor. Chariot is also subject to the following exceptions. Balin must be the driver should Balin the dwarf be slain, and the dwarf on the chariot immediately takes his place. Should all the dwarves be slain, then the chariot is removed as a casualty. If the chariot is slain, the dwarves instead take a thrown rider test. The dwarves who ride the chariot have all their usual war gear and special rules whilst riding the chariot. Dwalin must always man the rapid bolt thrower until he's slain. Unlike other Arnhill's chariots, only Balin, Dwalin, Fili, and Kili may ride this chariot, so no additional models may ride it. Magical powers may be directed at the dwarves individually, in which case they will resist and be affected individually with no impact on each other. In combat, the chariot is very unusual in that a duel can effectively have multiple models on both sides of the fight. When making a dual roll, make sure to roll for each dwarf's attack separately with the purpose of using might points. Additionally, each dwarf may decide to use special strikes. If feeling kill, use feint special strikes, then the fight value of all the crew and the charge itself will be reduced by d3. If Dwalin uses a piercing strike special rule, then only his strength and defense will be affected. This version of the Chariot counts as 4 models for the purposes of working out breakpoints. And the Chariot counts as hero for the Erebor Reclaimed army list and may be the army leader. If it may not, however, lead a warband. If the Chariot is chosen as your leader for the army, then Balin is the leader for all intents and purposes. Okay, so that's a big one and should be so fun to play. So next we have a profile we have seen before. It's the Iron Hills Ballista. It has strength 8, defense 10 for wounds. The crew has move 5, fight 4, 4+ shoot. Strength 4, defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage, and it has 4 crew armed with heavy armor and swords. It may take an Iron Hills Dwarf Engineer Captain. It can take superior construction and additional dwarf crew. It has reliable, so it only scatters 3 inches and may reroll once to hit. It also fires the old twirly whirlies. The Iron Hills Ballista always counts as calling heroic shoot. There is no need to spend might. Additionally, the ballista follows the rules for volley fire. When the ballista hits a target, place a marker under the center of the target model. Draw a line from the center of the ballista to the center of the marker. Shooting attacks that are strength 6 or less cannot target any model within 3 inches of that line for the remainder of the turn. Additionally, shooting attacks that are strength 6 or less cannot be made if they cross the line at any point. If a shooting attack that is strength 7 or more targets a model that is either within 3 inches of the line or the shot crosses the line, roll d6 on a roll of 5 plus the shooting attacks. It is prevented. At the end of the turn, remove any marker placed due to this special rule. It also has the Tremendous Impact special rule. If an Iron Hills Ballista scores a hit against a battlefield target, all man-sized or smaller models within 2 inches are knocked to the ground. Cavalry models within 2 inches must take a Thrown Rider test, and additionally, any model within 2 inches also suffers a strength 4 hit. So no real change on the rules we've already seen from that. Now for a profile change, we have the Mirkwood Elf. It is move 6, fight 5, 3+ shoot, strength 3, defense 5. So important change there. 1 attack, 1 wound, 5 courage, and is armed with heavy armor and has an elven blade. It has the Woodland Creature special rule, can be given a shield. It may swap its elven blade for an elf bow and may swap its elven blade for an elven glaive. So no longer can you have both elf bow and elven glaive on the same model, as you only have 1 elven blade. And it can take a banner. You have the Palace Guard, which is move 6, fight 5, strength 3, 3+ shoot, 5 in defense, 1 attack for 1 wound, 5 in courage, has heavy armor and elven blade. Can be given a shield, spear, a banner, or a warhorn. It has the Woodland Creature and Bodyguard, and it has the King's Guard special rule. Whilst within 3 inches of hand rule, King of the Woodland Realm plays Palace Guard, receive a +1 bonus to the fight value. The Mirkwood Rangers are no different from the way they were before. Still move 6, fight 5, 3+ shoot, strength 3, defense 3, 1 attack, 1 wound, 5, courage 5. It has Elven Cloak, Elf Bow, and 2 daggers. Has the option for a Warhorn for a number of points. Woodland Creature. It has the Knife Fighter special rule, so to maximum of 3 bonus attacks against the foe bonus when fighting 4 models. So we have 3 more profiles for the good before we take a break, rounding us out to an even hour, I think. So the Mirkwood Elf Cavalry has move 6, fight 5, 3+ shoot, strength 3, defense 5, 1 attack, 1 wound, 5 in courage. has heavy armor, elven blade and a horse. Can be given a shield, so important change there in addition to the heavy armor upgrade. Can be given a banner. Has the expert rider special rule and woodland creature. It is the King's Knights, so whilst mounted, Mirkwood cavalry models counts as being in range of a banner if they are within 6 inches of Thrain, king of the woodland realm. We have the Lake-town guard, move 6, fight 3, 4+ shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 2 encourage. Has the armor and sword. For wargear, can be given a bow or a spear in its options. And lastly, for the good models, we have Lake-town militia. For its move 6, fight 2, 4+ shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 3 courage. Can be given armor and either a sword or an axe. So you get an option here, and this is the important thing about this supplement, is that everything has a proper what's it called? Proper type of weapon. So they can be given either a sword or an axe. Has the option for bow, a shield, a spear, and has the special onwards men of Esgaroth. Lake-town militia that are within 6 inches of a friendly hero from the survivors of Lake-town armies who is in combat do not need to take courage tests for being broken. This is essentially the old Mahud rule, so that's cool. I'm not familiar with the Lake-town armies from before, so it might be the same. So we have now come to the exact, well, not half of the book, but we come to the evil heroes. I will actually do the appendix heroes afterwards. So this will be the first part of a huge video, I think. So I will upload it now and film the rest one after a small break. So thank you guys for watching this first installment. I think there will be 3 installments in total of this this type of video. The next one will be up shortly, during the day at least. So please stay tuned for that. As always, please comment, like, share, and especially subscribe. Please remember our subscription contest featured in another video. And support your Hobbit hobby and buy the book. It's awesome.